Hello everyone, this is Marmar. So on today's video, we are going to be continuing the Wandavision hype train. It's episode 2. So, well, no, wait, it's episode 3, right? Yeah, it's episode
Episode
3.
3 and it's episode 2 of this.
Yeah, Sparta is joining me again because he's the co-host of the podcast. Um,
Yeah, I'm
so,
obligated to be here. She's paying me by the hour.
yeah, by the hour. So, what were your thoughts on the episode?
So far, it honestly didn't compare to the first, but I honestly did find it enjoyable, honestly.
I
It was,
personally really liked it.
like, I could tell that episode was more or less the plot episode, same was centering around more, like, setting up the story and all that with certain points and all that. Like, still with Herbert at the beginning of the show, like, yeah, it was kind of a nod, like, yeah, this is gonna be a more, story-centric episode than usual.
Yeah, well, I did notice a few things because I did a rewatch like 2 days ago. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
well, in the second episode, I noticed that the Reaper's helmet appears in the intro scene from episode 2.
Yeah, that's like a running theory that the Grim Reaper is gonna show up, and he's a prominent Hydra-based character, which goes
Yeah,
along correlation of the Hydra-based
commercials.
infomercials as well.
Yeah, well,
So
I mean, I did some. I was reading between this week and the previous one, Vision by I believe it was. Well, I forgot by who it was illustrated and written, but basically, I found out that the Reaper, uh, is basically mad at Vision because, well, Wonder Man is his brother, and in the comics they used Wonder Man's brain signature to create Vision, rather
yeah,
than
Wonder Man was basically the blueprint of Vision and all of that. And from what I
yeah,
remember, the Vision was pretty much like based off the original flame, the Human Torch back from World War II. From what I remember, that was his original body.
yeah. Well, I personally don't think they are going to adapt that directly, but
No, they can't at this point because, well, of all this. But he might be like on the way how um how the Taskmaster is probably being implemented into the story somehow because like the way he's used in the comics is completely different from how he's being used within the
the
a movie.
MCU.
Honestly,
Yeah. Well,
yes,
I personally have a theory that well, Wonder Man was the basis for the Jarvis program. We know that like in that Jarvis was a real person, at least from Agent Carter. Although I don't know if that show is still canon within the continuity, but I have a
technically, yeah. But
feeling.
the thing is though, with Jarvis being an actual person and going along with how he is in the comics, I'm pretty sure that's pretty much the basis for it. If anything. I
Well,
feel more likely that the reason like the Grim Reaper might be involved is because well, there's any sort of power coming from Wanda might be a significant like go for anyone. Seems like she was a like previous Hydra test subject.
yeah. Well, I also did some research into Monica Rambeau.
Mm-hmm.
Remember her? She's the girl that gets spelled at last minute in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, turns out that she basically absorbed powers from something related to the Avengers. I forgot exactly what, but she's really tied to Captain Marvel, or of
Yeah,
course she
but it looks of it
was.
is, but it looks of it they seem to be like moving away from how original storyline, what they tend to do with a lot of MCU characters.
Well, she was in the comics part of Sword, and as we have seen, Sword is involved in this, at least from her
Yeah,
pendant.
but it's hard to tell what role she plays honestly, seeing
Well,
as how like they might switch things up a bit.
they did release a few trailers, and she appears to be a very prominent character in the series. I don't
Yes,
know if
but
she
like I'm
will
saying
inherit
is
her
like
powers, though.
I kind of doubt it. Like I said, they do some weird things with certain characters sometimes, where like they're completely different. Sometimes they're just powerless.
Well,
Like the red, we haven't had the Red Hulk yet, and then at this point, I doubt we ever will.
I personally think we might get her with powers simply because, well, in the movies, Captain Marvel got her powers from the Tesseract, the Space Stone, and well, we have seen that Wanda is kinda tied with the Reality Stone and the Mind Stone, especially because of Vision. So if that hit that Wanda did to her, this episode, I feel like she might have absorbed some of that energy and transformed it into powers. But I doubt we'll see
Maybe.
it in this series. Another thing, I read the well, I read a bit of House of M, and well, a bit of the storyline involving Wanda's children, and it turns out that her children are demons. Well, at least in the comics.
Yes, I was always like, that was what I was mentioning when I was watching it, because I was watching with a friend, and I kind of mentioned like in the story, what the children were based from, they were technically demons.
Yeah.
And besides that, like honestly, what other information do we need about them? Because their importance is not really
Well, we
matter
don't
much,
know their
honestly.
importance right now, but
Yeah, but even so, they don't matter as much if we honestly look at it.
I mean, you do remember For the Children, right? From episode
Nah,
2?
I don't.
While they were
And
chanting for the
screw the
children.
children. Screw the
Uh,
children. You don't need our support.
well, that gives me a bit of curiosity if they are going to actually make the children important as in the comics. I
I
mean,
doubt they're actually gonna be real. I think this is all in her mind, honestly.
I don't know if it's actually in her mind, because if it was in truly in her mind, I feel like we wouldn't have gotten like that scene of Vision confronting her about it, you know?
For all we know, she could be like putting like certain memories inside his head. Like for all we know, she could be like recreating everything to a perfect T, how they react and respond, and just implanting certain things within. Because we don't know if that's the real Vision or not. For all we
Well,
know, like
we don't
that's
know what's
what else
going
we don't
on,
know.
honestly. Like it, like we said like last episode, it could be Mephisto, it could be her mind, it could be
Kind of doubt
an
Mephisto at all.
experiment.
Like why would that does Mephisto at this point?
Well,
Like
we
why would the devil care about anything about something this small compared to
I
him?
personally don't know, but I read an interview with Kevin Feige where he talked about the series, and he said that it will tie to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness coming out in cinema soon.
Well, the thing is, it does take place in different realities, which is a big factor within Doctor Strange. So, but
Yeah,
I kind of doubt they'll put in all this other stuff and think, oh, it's just Mephisto. That seems like a big cop out just to tie in with the movie.
well,
If they do that, it's gonna be a disappointing ending. Like, hey, look at all the secret agent stuff, all this like theory crafting, and all that. Oh, it's Mephisto. Why? Who knows?
well, you're right on that, but I
Don't seem like phoned in.
I don't doubt if Hydra is involved in this because we have
It would be
seen.
much more sense, honestly, because of all the Hydra stuff they've been planting and all that.
Yeah, and like the series that's coming out in March, Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that
Yeah,
one.
like these characters are small enough to where Hydra can actually be a threat. Because unlike people like Iron Man, Captain America, and the Black Panther, they're a little bit more up their height or pay grade to be taken down. Like Captain America is gone, Iron Man's dead, and like Black
Well,
Panther is, for all we know, somewhere else.
in the comics, a big plot point of the Vision comic is that basically Vision's wife kills the Reaper, and she has to hide a secret. Like it's a big plot point that, well, you are
Yeah,
expecting the
like
whole time in the comic that the Visions will go evil because everything seems to point out to the Visions be going evil, but in reality it all ends up being like everyone thought they were evil, so they kind of pushed them to do some evil stuff, but they were just trying to live their lives.
that seems like the more the point they're going towards in the show, rather than just like, oh hey, it's just the devil making fun of things. That
Well,
seems like a very more suited story than like saying the devil. Why?
we
Who knows? It's just the
saw
devil.
remember Agnes from like episode 1 through 2.
Yeah, but she didn't even play any purpose at all, honestly.
Well, it's not about that, though, the thing that I'm trying to say. The outfit we saw her wearing right now is the same outfit that Agatha Harkness was wearing in the Vision comic.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, that just could be just an Easter egg that could be meaningless at this point, for all we know. Like,
I'm
yeah, it is speculation, but as long as you don't put any sort of correlation, like, it doesn't really matter.
Well, it could just be an Easter egg for all we care.
Yeah, for all we know, it could be just an Easter egg to those, like, very hardcore Marvel fans that who instantly know it.
Yeah, or like people who are reading the comic right now to tie it with the series.
They
Well,
tend to do this stuff sometimes, where, like, they just have nods to, like, the source material without actually being involved.
yeah, well, aside from that, something I want to point out is, when Monica Rambeau, she's pushed into, like, outside this reality, like, a lot of those
Hmm.
planes look kind, well, the design of the helicopters and the soldiers and all that, it reminds me a bit of, like, Captain America the Winter Soldier.
Well, the thing is, it takes place around the same time frame. It's literally been like what, less than I want to say 8 years after the events that happened.
Well, yeah, but,
So that,
well,
yeah, so
this
like
is
the technology they're using is not going to change that much over like almost over 10 years
this
of
is
that point.
after Endgame.
Yeah, that's their end game. So their technology is not going to change much, honestly.
Well, unless Pepper is actually selling Tony Stark's technology.
They're technically still selling it since that's part of the company.
Well, he's dead right now.
I
Like,
mean, so, like like saying like, oh, the technology you're using is a big factor. Not really, because like I said, they've been using it for over like the past 20 years within Marvel. Slight differences. And this is showing the time frame that they're in. Like this is a more modernized compared to like Marvel movie. Like this within this time frame, and we already know it takes place after Endgame.
yeah, well, I don't know.
A bigger like thing to take point is that invisible building that they're apparently being stored in. You don't know what it is, and there's something invisible just being contained right there,
I
and
don't
like
know if
being
it's a
watched.
building because
Well, something's in there. It's being invisible and it's contained by something.
well,
For all we know, it could be something held up like a prison or something.
I saw one episode. Well, I saw in the trailers that they released for, like, the future episodes after releasing episode 1 through 2. The remember the big guy from, like, episode 2, the big guy.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that he was wearing a hazmat suit and tried to infiltrate this reality through the sewers. Like, I don't know exactly what's going on with that.
Well,
Or,
the thing is, with this show, like, there's a lot of twists and turns, and they're throwing a lot of things at us to like you try to piece them together. It's gonna be a hassle until there's some context given. Like, we just need to wait until like everything comes out. Like, yeah, we
I,
can speculate, but that's gonna be a clear cut.
I feel like the next episode is going to be a really big turning stone because, well, in the first trailer that we got for the show and other several trailers before we got the show, I think the last time that we, like, see Wanda in, like, this place is in the 60s, because I don't remember seeing anything about the 90s in the trailer. And did you notice that it was a different set?
Yeah, I know that's what they do all the time. Like, they slightly change the set here and there just to coincide with the time frame.
No, it was a different set, like a completely different set.
No, it's
Because
still similar.
no,
It was still similar. Almost.
in episode 2 we see that the houses are actually real. Like, every single house is there. But,
Remember,
like,
it's filled up with live studio audience, meaning it's a set. Remember that.
yeah, but in this episode, like, the wall,
Well, the thing is,
the
remember they slightly adjusted a bit to like it's still the same place, but at the same time it's still like the same set, but it's a completely different place where they're
I
trying to
don't
make it.
know. Like, I
Like
saw, like,
the door placement is still the same as all the other episodes and all
the
that.
house looked
Everything else as well.
different.
Well, that's the point though. They're trying to make it look different at the same time, but minimize the differences within just to save costs. That's what they usually do.
I guess, but it feels a
Sure, they
bit
add
to me
they add a
like
few doors and a few rooms, but in reality, it's still the same exact set, just like completely rearranged.
I don't know. I feel like Wanda is trying to escape like her life as an Avenger and everything else like that, and that's why
How?
this is
Like,
happening. Well,
like
we see that she really doesn't want to remember like Pietro being killed by Ultron, or like she
I
doesn't
think it's
want to
more the
remember
fact.
why
I think it's
she's
more the
there.
fact. No, I think it's more the fact that she somehow know that woman knows somehow knows an event she hasn't told anyone that wasn't in that was in during that evasion, which is more confusing than anything else. Like, I think I'm more plausible than just any of that. Like, it doesn't really make any sense.
I don't know. I
Like,
I have a feeling that like
like I don't see how this will correlate with her like wanting to leave the Avengers. Like, she's free. I'm pretty sure she's free to leave whenever she wants. She's not being forced to do
well,
anything.
remember
If
the
I remember,
Sokovia Accords?
The Avengers, and I, if I, well, the thing is, the cult, the Accords are no longer in effect anymore because of all the Thanos stuff.
Well, that's right, I guess. But
And even then, the Avengers were like disbanded by that point.
I guess you're right. But it feels to me like the movies and everything like that forgot the Accords.
Let's be fair, the Accords didn't mean much. Like Civil War was good for like a while. Then we actually watched through the movie. A lot of it didn't really fall through. Like the Spider-Man stuff was good. A lot of fights were memorable, but the Accord stuff just didn't mean anything at all. It was there just to get the two characters fighting.
I don't know. I feel like they could have
That's all
done
it
a lot
was.
with it. But, well,
Like I said, it was just a plot point that made the characters start fighting, and after that they just dropped it because by then it was like, oh, we gotta arrest Bucky rather than like, oh, this is wrong. You have to listen to the rules.
yeah,
And it's
I
like, no, Bucky
guess.
committed murder.
Well, did you notice that special effects were better this episode?
Well, yeah, I didn't notice that. Like, it had higher quality and all the different
Yeah,
cameras and all that.
and
I guess
when I
it's
was
supposed to be an
rewatching
indication. I guess it's supposed to be an indication of a different tone shift. Like they're getting closer and closer
to
to
like
like their
reality,
like basically.
well, last episode I was rewatching, and well, at one point when Vision was actually flying, I could actually see a cable, like a small line in the screen. But this time I couldn't really notice anything like that.
I think that was just a visual thing, honestly. I don't think that was meant to be anything.
I guess, but well, it feels to me like as the show is progressing, Wanda is making the powers more real because, well,
Well, maybe because like back in in the first episode, everything was just be like, oh, it's just magically appears with no effect,
I feel
like
like
shoddy editing, all that.
the black and white reality thing was meant to symbolize that like this is very basic stuff. Like it's Wanda not really trying to keep things as they are, and is she's not really trying to like keep Vision alive or anything like that. But as the show
But that
progresses,
doesn't really correlate though and all that though.
I don't know. To me, it feels like her powers are getting stronger, and she's actually getting Vision back to life.
Yeah, but that makes a little more sense what you were saying earlier. But still, it kind of
Because, well, I don't know. It feels to me like the correlation between like how real things look and the color and everything like that. Wanda is
or for all we
actually
know, like
pulling
this could be like the
reality.
effects of this could be the effects of the people within the outside, like shifting reality by having like some sort of control over her powers to keep her like in the dark. Like the more she stays within it, the more that she's realizing her powers and all that, and you're getting stronger. And they're doing this just to keep her in bay. Because if they don't, then she's probably gonna start realizing, getting people out and getting out of control.
She's going to go to a temper tantrum. She's going to go mad at the end. Well, at
Oh
least
no,
that's
yeah, I
what
heard
I
about that.
think. You know?
Because it seems like how like all the characters just seems to like reset after each episode. It seems like oh, this new era, they all of a sudden just reset and barely have any sort of recollection of what happened last time.
Well, Vision seems to have any recollection of what's going on.
Well, it seems like neither of them does. Like so, like until like something jogs their memory.
Mm, I just think that whoever this is going, whoever is making this happen, like be it Wanda, being like Sword, being Hydra, even Mephisto, this is going to end up crashing down in a glorious
I doubt it would
way.
be Mephisto, honestly. Like,
I
why
doubt
would
it
he
will be
show
Mephisto, but I
like
think
why would
it's
he show
better
the
to prepare.
sword stuff if it just happens to be like the devil? Like, I don't see what's point of teasing the sword and all that.
Well, we know that like Wanda made.
For all we know, like for all we know, it could be her powers just like overloading and all that, just so having some weird effect with the Infinity Stones
Well,
being destroyed.
what I remember from reading like the comic in which Wanda makes her children real, she basically pulls her hands into like hell and grabs two souls. And at the same time Mephisto was having his soul cracked by another event.
Yeah, but
And
it's two different correlations though, so that's really kind of iffy to think like, oh, these are connected
well,
because it's happening to take place with a character that does usually is involved in that place, and her just doing something that's minute to that specific detail.
well, if if Mephisto is not involved, I don't really see how her children could be real. Like the
Remember,
only
she's part of like the reality stones. That's
well,
where she got her
I
powers and all
guess
that.
that's true, but
And she's able
another
to like do all this crazy stuff already, so it won't
well,
be out of the question that she's able to
and
like.
like her children grew up really fast. Like she was pregnant for barely anything.
And like I said, we don't even know if any of this is actually real. For all we know, this will be
Well,
fabricated, and
we
all
don't
the
know
people in
if
there are
it's
probably
the
real.
real Vision or not. Like
But yeah.
I personally doubt it's real Vision, but reading through the comics and like rewatching Age of Ultron, there's a few things that were key to me. They make it clear in the comics, and like she says it in this episode, that Vision is not a robot, he's a synthesoid. And like synthesoids are closer to like humans in the comics. And like Vision is supposedly made to like have the powers of the Mind Stone and like be the closest thing to a human being, while at the same time being like not really a human. So this has me believe that Vision possibly has like a penis. If he's actually Vision, if he's not a thing created by Wanda, because well, there's quite a few things in the comics that like reference that Vision can have sex, and it's a bit
Well,
weird.
the thing is, that is not really an important issue. Even if he can, he has no reason to use that part at all. So
Well,
there's no really no
he has a
even mention
reason,
it.
you know.
That's the reason. Well, the
What?
thing is, he's a robot with like really no drive at all.
But this is Wanda we're talking about. Like,
Yeah, but that's
she's
implying that she that's implying she is always like that, which is kind of
well,
incorrect. The only reason like she did this because she did love Vision and wanted to
Vision.
start like them.
Vision calculated the last time that something like that happened, because if you remember, he said 12 hours. That leads me to believe that if it's really Vision, and if he can really have sex, it was within those 12 hours that he mentioned. Or that
I don't think it's honestly gonna matter at all.
I
Like
don't
I don't think it
think
really
it.
matters.
I don't think it matters a lot, but I'm surprised that like Wanda can have babies. Like, how can
Well,
it?
the thing is, we don't know. We don't anything. We don't know anything about. That's the thing.
Well, if it's Mephisto, it makes sense because, well, she's not
It
really
still
having
doesn't make
babies
sense.
with.
No, but the thing is, like, you're bringing Mephisto for one aspect, and everything
Um,
else is like
I am bringing
ignore. That's
Mephisto because if she's
yeah,
truly,
but like you're bringing in a major character just to make one aspect to make more sense. Like,
well, it
okay,
would
it's kind
tie
of a
it with the
waste of a
comics.
that's kind of like a waste of a character. Like,
Mm.
hey, look, I'm bringing this big major character who has like a lot of significance in the comics, and he was
Well,
only for one thing, and that's
we
it.
know this is leading to like the Doctor
That's kind
Strange
of a weird
movie.
way. It's kind of a weird way to do it, wouldn't it? Like, wouldn't it be a weird way to bring him in?
Yeah, it
Like,
would
he's
be
only
a
there
weird
for like
way,
making
but
magic babies.
this series is really weird. So if they are doing that, I think this would be the series because it's been so weird so far, and like we
Yeah, but
don't
it'd
know
be
what's
better off
going
just to.
on.
It's just be better to like set him up in his own movie rather than just like say, hey, he's in this character is gonna be a big importance at some point. He's in the show now for some reason. Don't
Yeah,
touch
well,
him.
I
He's in a
guess you're
show.
right, but
Like,
well, it
especially like I say, he does a lot within the comic, and he's just there to make a magic baby.
well, if she's truly like part of the reality stone, I think it would make sense why she can have babies. If it's not that, I don't know if Vision can truly make the babies or
Well,
what's
he
happening
can.
with the
He's not
babies.
technically a person.
Wow. Well, we don't know. We don't know what's Vision like. He died in Infinity War, and we know the Infinity Stones are gone. We don't know if he's really Vision. What's happening with him? We don't know anything really. Like nothing has been properly explained in the series, and I think that's all we can do is wait. Like all this pointless speculation is really just that because we don't know if this is an adaptation of like House of M. We don't know if this is an actual adaptation of the Vision comic. We don't know if this is even an adaptation. For all we know, this could be a totally original story.
I mean, most likely, it's probably is an original story, honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, they could probably take inspiration from the comics if it's an original story. Like, take elements from this story, take elements from that. But all these clues and like Easter eggs, we don't know what they are until they are properly explained in the series. And I think that's something that a lot of people are doing right now. Pointless speculation. Like,
And basically,
well, I guess it's fun to speculate, but I feel like some people are overhyping the speculation and will probably end up being disappointed if it's not what they thought it would be. Like,
I mean, I just community in general, honestly, you tend to do that a
yeah,
lot.
what I will say is speculate all you want, but don't put your mind that it's going to be that, you know? Like, I am going for Mephisto simply because this is tied to Doctor Strange, but
Yeah, but like I said, like
I'm prepared for
that
anything really.
I mean, like I said, that doesn't make much sense for Mephisto. Like, think about it.
Yeah, he's a big
It's
villain. If he's going to appear in anything, it's going to be in a movie.
yeah, like it wouldn't make sense that he just appears just for that fact. Like,
Well, Kevin Feige could shut us up and actually make it into a reality, but I doubt it. I doubt it will be Mephisto. I hope it will be Mephisto simply because it would be cool to have it, especially since he was a big part of the storyline in the comics, at least relating to like Wanda's babies and that original storyline. But otherwise, I'm open for anything. I'm open for it being for her being like what's its name, forcibly impregnated by like those machines. You know the ones like. or her creating the babies with her mind. I am ready for anything. Kevin Feige, if you're listening, make Vision have sex. That's
No,
all.
please no. This is technically a family show.
Is it a family show?
Yes.
Stargazer Cafe is a family show?
If you evolve, nothing's considered family or anything.
Exactly. So, well, I mean, there was recently an interview in which they say that they are planning to bring some more mature stuff into Disney Plus.
Yeah, but I doubt you're gonna. That's for like already existing content already. And for so far, they're gonna keep most of their Marvel TV shows to be family friendly.
Probably.
Since the MCU in general is already like mostly like geared to like
I
teens
mean,
to young adults.
we know they are going to bring Deadpool and the X Men and the Fantastic
Yeah,
Four
but the
in.
thing is, that's not gonna be for a while, honestly, and we don't know how they're gonna do it.
Well, we don't know how they are going to do it. Yes, but bringing Deadpool would be like that would certainly not be family friendly. And like they have the rights to Punisher now and Blade and all those crazy
They always have it.
superheroes.
They already has a right system, honestly. Like they've been sitting on Blade for a
They
while.
have been sitting on Ghost Rider
No, they used them.
by Agents of Shield. Who
Yeah, it
cares?
still technically counts, honestly.
Well,
More
they
important, they used the Robbie version of
they
a Ghost
didn't
Rider, not
use
the
Johnny
original one.
Blaze.
Yeah, they didn't use Johnny Blaze. They used like the Robbie version, apparently.
I'm surprised they did that.
Yeah,
Well,
like
I know you have something to do, so any final thoughts on the episode?
just that it was actually a good episode within the plot. So honestly, I am looking forward to seeing how it is. Everything else.
Well, I personally really enjoyed it. I am really liking the sitcom aspect because, well, I'm a fan of sitcoms, especially old ones. Uh, Not big on Friends, but I really hope I am really excited to see what they are actually going to do with the whole plot line. Even if I am enjoying the sitcom aspect, I really hope that any of this speculation is right because that would make me seem credible instead of like a crazy lady. But otherwise, I am open for anything, you know.
Well, let's be fair here. Let's be fair here. You'll be a crazy lady despite being right. So I don't think that's a fair point to say.
Shut up! I'm not crazy.
Oh, you're crazy.
Well, I guess I'm crazy, but you know, give credibility to the crazy lady.
Nah, I'm gonna skip the credit.
Shut up. Well, that was it, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Stargazer Cafe. Uh, Tune in next week
Cafe.
because we'll be doing the next episode. So, see you guys, everyone. Follow me on Twitter. The Twitter is obviously on the screen right now. I have a Patreon. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you want to say anything before we go, Sparta?
Let's see. Bring back the original Skippy the droid. We all want this faker.
Exactly. Bring the Skippy the droid. Make him force sensitive. Filoni, if you're listening, or what's his name? Favreau. Please bring Skippy into the Mandalorian season 3 or the Book of Boba Fett. I would really appreciate it. Well, goodbye, everyone. Say goodbye, Sparta.
Goodbye.